Hi, I'm Mike Storm, Cybersecurity Distinguished Engineer with Cisco, and welcome to another edition of Cisco's IT Security Makeover. This season, we're down in Alabama visiting the Birmingham Zoo. With more than 700 animals and 500,000 visitors each year, transparency and safety are vital. So when the time came to upgrade their network security, Cisco was their go-to. Come along as I chat with all the players that made this happen for the zoo and its guests.
So tell me about the zoo. What does it mean to you?
The zoo means everything to me. We are not only entertainment for family, but we are a conservation organization. So we get to live our mission on a daily basis of inspiring passion to conserve the natural world.
That's awesome.
I am the Chief Financial Officer of the Birmingham Zoo, so I handle the whole business side of the zoo.
And so you guys have been doing a lot of work here. I mean, a lot of transformations going on, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So we are in the midst of a three-phase capital construction campaign.
How has your technology been able to keep up with that based upon all your transformation?
It's one of the things we've had to do some significant investment in.
Right, and that experience that you want to provide to them obviously introduces new security concerns as far as not only the scale of it, but also the potential for everyone using their own devices they're here, right?
Yes, so as a not-for-profit, it's always a struggle where you find the funds to do everything that you need to do in the proper way you need to do it.
And thus the makeover.
Yes.
Yeah, now we have the team in place to get it done and putting in the technology, which is going to give you the opportunity to have that open environment for all of your visitors and give them that experience that they'll never forget.
I am a one-person IT department, which is kind of funny since that's not my specialty, but I have a great support network through Red Clay to come in and see what we're doing here.
Red Clay Technology Group, the zoo's managed service provider, were the boots on the ground throughout the makeover process. So I flew over to talk turkey with Damon Perrell and Ray Washburn about the zoo's infrastructure and the details of their security makeover.
So you got to do a makeover for Jenny, the zoo. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was, it was just fascinating. We learned as much as they did, probably more, I would say, about the network and about the things that were going on here than we ever knew.
Were you missing a lot you didn't know about?
There were some surprises. Let's just put it that way. Okay. There was a lot to learn.
The environment before, kind of give me an idea, what did it look like? What was the general makeup of the network environment prior to the makeover?
We have a variety of different vendors in place, so there wasn't any centralized location to go to get answers. We had things split off into VLANs, and then we have our perimeter defense, and then we have our endpoint defense. But I bring in Cisco, Firepower, Umbrella, and maybe even use an AMP in the future. That's going to give us one go-to.
Right, and integration. Yeah,
exactly.
Integration, visibility, you got all your logs together, you've got your threat response capabilities.
Right.
All that stuff is tied together. That's great. And I heard Tech Data helped you guys out quite a bit.
They did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Instrumental. I mean, Ty, Rachel, the team over there did such a good job bringing us on. We had a lot of training to get under our belt as a new MSP to Cisco. And it really just opened a world for us.
The crucial piece to this entire network security project was Tech Data, the Cisco distributor who brought it all together. So I journeyed to chat with Rachel Rovegno and Tyrus Gordon to hear their side of this IT security story.
At Tech Data, we have over 300 people that are dedicated to just supporting partners and MSPs who have a Cisco practice.
Anytime they run into troubles or need some support, they've got you guys, no matter what. And you guys have Cisco, so we kind of all work together as one big team and we make the customer successful.
It is one big team, yes, absolutely. So we're really kind of a force multiplier for those partners where they are trying to support their customers and their projects, and they can rely on the team at Tech Data to be a much larger company.
So obviously Birmingham Zoo is in a massive expansion, trying to implement new capabilities for their visitors and technology. Give me a little bit of insight into the kinds of things that went into the makeover.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're crafting these solutions, we need to make sure that we're crafting them to scale. And that's the most important thing. It's not about the network today, it's about the future as well.
So tell me, what Cisco products and solutions are you guys actually using in the makeover?
We're using the Firepower 1010. That gives us that hard candy, as you said, layer of protection for the perimeter.
Yep, threat focus, the whole deal.
Exactly,
yep.
Exactly, all the logging. And we're going to be using Umbrella internally to cover corporate assets as well as visitors to give them an extra layer of protection.
Number one vector is still email. We got email covered?
We got email covered. Again, to go back to the financial aspect of things, it takes a lot to keep this place up and going. So there's a lot of critical data that comes in and out through email.
So I heard a lot of the real improvements had to do with taking all the disparate systems and lack of visibility that you had, bringing those together and integrating them and kind of giving you one window into the world. How do you find the current simplicity integrations from Cisco right now?
We had just a segmented network, right? That was just, it wasn't easily manageable. It wasn't easy to get a picture of what's going on. We might have an idea in one place and it's completely different somewhere else. And now with the new tools, that's all brought into one secure place and we can view it anytime we like. It's great.
My head starts to spin when we talk about risk.
Right.
And it's always like, well, what's my exposure? What's my exposure?
Right, and it's saying a lot because not every small business may even know what their risk is or may even know that they have to think about it.
Yes.
This is a great example of not only a small business with very valuable data, but also a not-for-profit that's getting the job done and protecting yourself and that of all your employees and customers, et cetera. So
It's a big undertaking and
Definitely.
sometimes it's daunting, so it's nice to have a team around you that can give you that reassurance that you're heading down the right path.
Tell us a little bit more about the public Wi-Fi and uses of Umbrella and how that's really allayed a lot of Jenny's concerns about risk.
Not only is organization wants to make sure that their Wi-Fi is protected, but the users nowadays do too. They want to make sure that when they're going and connecting to an open Wi-Fi that they're protected, their devices are protected.
Yep.
So with Umbrella, it's really important to have that first line of defense with the DNS layer there. I mean, we're all using a public DNS server whether we know it or not, and Umbrella is the extra line of defense at that layer.
So specifically, let's talk about the FTD device, the 1010. Why do you think that is such a good fit for businesses this size?
So our overall goal is to reduce risk in an organization. With the Firepower 1010, we have not only the threat defense there, but what that allows us to do is integrate all these other solutions to be able to address the three main phases of an attack. And so not only are we covering and hardening that perimeter layer, but also being able to defend against during when the attack's happening, and we're never gonna forget that attack occurred after it did. So that's why it's really important to implement a solution that has all these technologies built into it.
What about the makeover surprised you the most? If you could pinpoint one thing.
Honestly, it was the ease of transition to it.
Really?
That was probably the biggest surprise.
So the migration or just the use of the technology? Or both?
Both, really. The team at Tech Data and then the team within Cisco being a part of the makeover, and then our team, I guess, just really being as open, as receptive to it as we were, it made this transition so easy. And I was expecting it to be a lot harder.
So we have 122 acres here.
Wow.
And we have fiber and computers all over the place.
Right.
That's a large amount of space
Yeah.
to have a team cover and understand how all the connectivity happens.
And we do have a special relationship with the zoo because aside from being an MSP, we're on the team here. So we go to the meetings. Jenny will call me directly all hours of the day or night, and we value that relationship.
Right.
Cisco's a name you hear a lot in our IT world, but it's also one that is enigmatic. Not everybody's familiar with it. And once you do a dive, you realize this isn't as scary as you think it is.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, those that do, sometimes it comes with a stigma of complexity and expense and turkeys even, right? But once you get into it, you realize it's like, wow, this is good for the small business.
That's
and
right.
It does give you the peace of mind, the protection, the things that are really desired today, by virtue of our current threat landscape, which is crazy. So if you could pick one thing from the makeover that really stands out as a success or a surprise, whatever it is, what would it be?
Really for me, the surprise or the success story is really being able to see Red Clay develop as a Cisco partner so they can deliver that Cisco solution to Birmingham Zoo.
And now you've got great technology that's protecting your entire environment, reducing your risk, and you've got a fantastic team that's managing it. So sounds like it's been a win-win all the way around.
The nice thing has been the whole process and tailoring the solutions to fit us. So it wasn't just, here's what you get. It's more of, what do you need to make it work for you?
Like a flock of birds or an old server, looks like it's time for me to migrate. But if you're headed south for the winter, be sure to fly by the Birmingham Zoo, where this dream team has finished one of our biggest makeovers yet. Thanks to Red Clay Technology Group, Tech Data, and of course Cisco Security, the zoo finally has the fast, strong, and safe network it deserves. I'm Mike Storm signing off, protecting businesses globally, one customer at a time.